Uh, Hi folks, this is Hariom for CBNA. Today's topic for discussion is what is normal movement. One of the common things we keep on saying is this is normal movement, he has abnormal movement, and things like that. And in science, it is vital that we define whatever things we are saying. So it helps us in understanding. Okay, this is what I mean by normal. This is what I mean by abnormal. So if you want to define abnormal, you want to understand what is normal. In this when I ask the question what is normal movement, there are two parts to it. One is what is normal and what is normal movement, right? So in the first part of it, we are going to understand what are the characters of normal movement, so that we can use that characters to define ourselves, that if you have these characters, this is normal. If you don't have these characters, this is abnormal. The next part is in measurement methods, we will try to find out what are the things they will use the definitions to understand what is normal, what are the different methods of measuring normal and things like that. So we all know that any movement, if you are producing a movement, it is starts from the organism. The organism interacts with an environment, and when the organism interacts with the environment, and if it has to do any task or any goal-oriented activity, then you get this movement, right? And they are all interdependent. They cannot be separated. The organism cannot be separated from the environment and the organism and the task. All these things combine to make a movement. So this is me doing a sit to stand activity. In this, you can see that the chair is the environment, and I'm the surrounding surface and things like that. I am the organism, and the goal of the movement is to stand up without falling down, right? And we have also painted the trajectories of me standing up, the shoulder trajectory alone, right? We will look into it again. What is the value of that trajectory? But anyway, we all know that I am doing a normal movement. How will I say that I am doing a normal movement? Right. The first thing you will notice is I am accomplishing my goal. That is the first thing to say that that is a normal movement. What is the goal here? To stand up without falling down, without losing balance, without tripping when I'm standing, things like that. The next thing is remember, I am not doing one single joint is not moving. All my joints are moving, right? When I'm doing this, all my joints are moving. There are many joints which are moving at the same time. So what we mean by multi-jointed coordinated movement. The other thing you also notice that if I'm doing a multi-jointed movement of all these joints moving, that is my pelvis, my hip joint, the knee joint, ankle joint, the shoulder, the trunk, the head, all these things, if they are all moving together to accomplish a goal, we now think that the brain does not give individual impulse or controls individual joints, rather than it controls the whole movement as a whole, right? Commonly referred to in our literature as synergies. That is, all these movements are all the joints, all the movements, all the muscles, they are all controlled together to produce this multi-jointed movement in a coordinated fashion, right? And the next thing you will notice is every time I stand up, you can see that my trajectory is different, right? You can see that I did 10 repetitions, right? And each time my trajectory is also different. That is a important hallmark of what we call as a normal movement, right? Why? Why do I say that variability in doing the same task again and again is a hallmark? Because the environment is different. The environment is variable. So I should be able to variably perform a goal-oriented task, right? So here I have a video of one of our students doing sit to stand from two different environments. One is a lower stool and another one is a higher stool. He is able to do both of the movements, and you can see the joints movements are different in uh, both the conditions, right? It's not the same thing. You can see that the trajectory here is different, here it is different, the range of motion here is different, range of motion is here is different. All these things are different. So one of the key features of a biological system is the variability, or depending on what you want to do, depending on the environment you are working in. the, so in terms of variability, you want to understand what are things will be variable in the biological system. You will see that whatever parameter you look into whenever you are moving, right? Whenever you're moving, your there are different range of motion, there are different muscles which are working, the amount of muscle working, the amount of neurons which are firing, the types of neurons which are firing, all these things, whatever parameter you take, they mostly are not the same every time you do. When will they change? For it will change between people. That is, if I am doing sit to stand from the same environment and you are doing sit to stand from the same environment, all these parameters, whatever muscle activation, range of motion, trajectory, they will all be different. If you are doing the same movement again and again, the same environment, then also all these things will be different, right? They will be variable, but remember, they will always achieve the goal, right? And variability is also different whenever you're doing it for a different environment. That's the example I told you in the previous slide, where they were doing the sit to stand, but from only one parameter we have changed, that is the height of the stool. Whenever you're talking about variability, we also talk about the accuracy, right? Or the achievement of the goal. In terms of sit to stand, we said that the accuracy or the achievement of the goal is standing up without falling down or tripping or losing balance and things like that. If you lose any of those things, we can call it as error or poor accuracy and things like that, right? So if you combine both these factors, accuracy and variability, you can see that if you are highly skilled in that particular activity, you will be more variable, and your accuracy will be very, very good. I'm assuming none of you are slipping down when you are standing from a particular stool. But at the same time, if you are, lot of people will find it difficult to sit and stand from a beanbag, especially people in the 50s, 60s, 40s, and things like that. So they will be less variable and less accurate because of the skill level, because of lot of factors, right? And if you are doing it for the first time, a lot of people may not even be able to get up, right? That is in the skill, in the normal people itself. If you have affliction, that is, if you have neurological deficit, and if you have mild affliction, you will be probably not as in case of a neurotypical, but you will have good variation, good accuracy. In later stages, or in chronic or severe people, severely afflicted people, you will have poor variability and poor accuracy. You can apply this to any condition you want. So we will just summarize what are the things we have seen until this point of time. So what do you mean by normal movement? Okay, the movement emerges for a goal or a purpose, and they are always dependent on the environment, and the environment is variable. So when there is environment is variable, our movements are variable depending on the goal, depending on how we are doing it, and things like that. And if you are unskilled, or if you have any disease, your achievement of the goal, there may be errors, or you may not be able to achieve it itself, right? So those are the characters of normal movement. In the second part of it, we will look into how, using these things, we can try to find out how to use these parameters to define normal.